My name is Mark Shaw. I'm the Chief Professional Officer here at Spatial Data Consultants. A little history about Spatial Data Consultants. I founded the company in 1996. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary this past February. Started out strictly as geospatial consulting photogrammetry, migrated, moved into a bit of surveying. Initially, the company was based off of traditional photogrammetry using fixed wing aircraft and rotor wing aircraft such as helicopters. Since our relationship in 2018 with microdrones, we've now transitioned most of that into drone and UAS systems. One thing we pride ourselves here on at Spatial Data Consultants is the level of competence and expertise we have in our personnel. Microdrones was extremely critical in getting our program off the ground in 2018 and actually helped all of our staff at that time transition into the UAS workflow. Fred Johnson, our current Director of UAS Services, who just recently became certified by the board. Without microdrones, we just wouldn't have the success we have today.
When I got out of the Navy, I knew that I liked looking at the maps aboard the ship, and I started doing some research and stumbled upon hydrographic surveying. I went to Cape Fear Community College to study hydrographic surveying and GIS. Shortly after that, I started looking for internships and stumbled upon Spatial Data Consultants and realized they do photogrammetry. Decided I liked it so much, I'm still here 4 years later. Now having just over 3 years of flying experience, I know that I can always count on the microdrones platforms to achieve my mission successfully. I know that it's going to work. I know that it's going to fly safely every single time.
I'm Robert Chrisman, Marketing Manager and Voice of the Customer with Microdrones. And today I'm here with Spatial Data Consultants, one of our seasoned users of the Expert Drone line. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're making out with the equipment. So let's go check it out.
Fred, I appreciate you having me in to talk through some of the data sets you guys have collected with the 3000. Most of my, data involvement here lately has been with the GE Industrial Drone line. So I'm excited to see some of the Expert Drone line data again. It's been far too long, it feels like. So let's go ahead and dive into this project here and just tell us some of the details about it.
Okay, Robert. All right, this was a sewer rehab project we did on the coast of North Carolina called Beaufort, and we knew right off the bat it was a corridor mission when we were provided the limits. So I did a little research and found out that this road here is very, very busy for such a small little town. So we communicated to the client that we're going to need to shut this road down to safely fly it. Another precaution I took was to stage my visual observer here at the end over here while I flew from down here.
Okay.
And that was really the only way we were going to safely fly it and maintain visual line of sight.
So what were some of the flight parameters here? I'm curious about number of strokes, maybe the height.
So we did 2 passes. We started right here, it flew down, and we flew it at 3 meters per second because it was the dead of summer that we flew it. As you can kind of see, some of these trees here are pretty thick, and the level of detail needed for this project was significant. So we took every precaution necessary to ensure that we were getting as much data as possible.
Okay. Is this point cloud classified?
It is, yes.
All right, let's go ahead and look at maybe just the ground data. It's definitely flat.
Yeah, you can tell we're at the coast.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I mean, these areas of vegetation, the penetration is great.
We honestly could have gotten away with just flying a single line down the roadway, but we wanted to ensure that we were delivering a quality product.
Well, Fred, I appreciate you going through these data sets. I can definitely tell that you guys are still doing professional work with the Expert Drone line. So I'm looking forward to actually getting a flight in this week and looking at the data from it. So I guess let's go ahead and get into the planning for tomorrow's flight.
High Point University reached out to us. They want to get an as-built on their new entrance here leading into the main part of campus.
Okay, yeah, just looking at the imagery from Google Earth, I can see that it's outdated.
It is.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of elements here from the campus that aren't shown. So I can see why they need the as-built. That's cool.
We'll go ahead and plan the mission, but we'll be extra precautious tomorrow when scouting the site. Let me check the airspace real fast. I'm pretty confident that We're far enough away from the Greensboro airport that it shouldn't be an issue, but let's check it. So our site's right here, and we are well outside of the Greensboro airport airspace.
Yeah, and there's not any smaller airports anywhere in the area either, I don't believe, so.
How about we go ahead and check the weather too? So tomorrow, high near 51 and northeast winds 6 to 9 miles per hour. So the client provided us with this KMZ file here. This is the extent of the road that they want surveyed.
So you're planning with a field of view, what was that, 56 degrees? Okay, so 4 colorization, all right. Okay, so you brought in the KML file from Google Earth we were just looking at.
I'll assess it in the field tomorrow, but I'm gonna plan it for 80 meters.
So 2 flight lines outside of the edge of pavement, so either side of the roadway, okay.
And our typical workflow involves a cross strip, so basically a scan line that runs perpendicular to the other flight lines. That way we can push it to itself. It has a different orientation to match the strips together in the post-processing. All right, so I got the mission planned. We're at 16 and a half minutes. I do need to check some of our safety parameters within the mission itself. When we bring in the KMZ generated from MD Cockpit, it actually gives you your elevation at each waypoint here. So you can see, here's our alignment waypoint. It'll start the mission, it'll follow the corridor there, it'll cross, and it'll go back down, and then we'll come up here and do our cross strip. So everything looks good there. So let's add our ground control in. So these control points here, they're not set in stone. These are just general locations where we might want to set them. It gives us kind of a, it gives us a template when we're out in the field. We can either print this off or, use the KMZ file on Google Earth on a tablet or something in the field.
Well, it looks like we have a solid plan for tomorrow. I'm really curious to see what we come across in the outdated imagery areas, to see if there's anything there that shows that we've got to adjust the plan once we get in the field. But it looks like we got a solid plan, good weather, good airspace. Looks like tomorrow should be a success.